Okay, so today I wanted to talk a little bit about Marathon, as well as what its impact will be, my speculation on what its impact will be for Arc Raiders. One moment, I'll turn this fan off. So this is the Marathon Server Slam beta on frvr.com. I don't know what that is. I found this on Google. Um, what they're doing, what Marathon is doing, is a open beta essentially, and also server tests. I think this is a great time to try out the game. I will be buying this game regardless. I'm going to be very vocally anti-Arc during this. If I stream any of this game, I'm going to say I think that Arc is a poorly designed game, and I think the developers are just absolute morons. I continue to say that on all my posts. I mean, truth be told, I do kind of do it just to get a rise out of people, but I'm at the point where I played that game too much. I got too frustrated with those dudes. It's the slowest freaking dev team I've ever seen. They should not have moved on to 2 new projects. They should have gotten all of the bugs and everything out of Arc. The fact that they moved on to 2 new projects means that was a throwaway game for them. And all you guys who are playing it as if it's going to be the next 10 years of your life, oh man, there's going to be some depression for y'all. So on the Marathon Server Slam beta dates, we're looking at February 26th, and then it's going to end on March the 2nd, and that'll give about a week to play. Don't really know where you download from. 4 days, 22 hours. So what I want to talk about specifically here, and again, I refuse to boot up Arc Raiders. I don't think that the Expedition thing is like for another 4 days. I will log in, I will click Expedition, and then I will log back out. I have enough on a mule that I will transfer over, and I will do the Expedition stuff, and I will sit for another 2 months, and then I'll get my 15 skill points. And unless the Arc Raiders developers do something substantial, I will have moved on. I probably will not play that game anymore. Maybe every so often, because then I'll have my skill points. But I will be a rat, because that's what the game wants you to be. So once I get my 15 skill points, and once I get my thing totally decked out, I will just be murdering everyone in that game. Unless there's changes. If there's a PvE mode added, I will probably play that game for a long, long time. But I refuse. With these brain damaged devs and these mentally ill players, I refuse to participate in PvP in that game. I expect that a lot of those people will come to Marathon. And so what I want to talk about is the Arc Raiders Steam charts. This right here is ultimately the measure of a game. Right now we're on a weekend. We're at 205,000. That is what it has been maintaining. I won't kid you and say that it hasn't been average over 200,000, which is very good. But when this launches, this week, this is very, very important to measure during this week. And then the success of this game is very important to measure. What I anticipate happening is that both the Concord brain damaged people who just want to sink every game by calling it Concord, and then the Arc Raiders people who will the Arc. Keep in mind, guys, what happens is when you find a game that these gamers, a lot of these guys, right, these video game players are very, very into these worlds, and they find a world that they like, and ultimately they they want to live there forever, and they don't want it to get boring, and they need to be able to spend millions and hours, right? I don't know. Let's just watch some guys play this, I guess. Well, this guy's playing on a toaster. Not a big fan of the art style. I do concur. I just have to say it. I mean, it's fine, but it feels too PS4, maybe even PS3. I've certainly seen better looking games on Switch. trailer. From what I've seen on this, just the time to kill alone makes me want to play it more than Ark. None of that looks really compelling compared to Ark, to be honest. They're saying the gunplay is pretty cool. I'll tell you the one difference between this game, Marathon, the game Marathon that's coming out on March 6th, or you can play open beta here. Marathon is a game that was designed from the ground up to be a PvP game. It's designed from the ground up for PvP balance. It's designed from the ground up as a PvPvE game. I do not care what kind of mental illness you have that makes you want to say that Ark is a PvP-focused game. It is not. Ark is a mental ill PvE game, right? It's a PvE game that they designed as a PvE game, and then they turned PvP on. They hit friendly fire enabled, full loot enabled. They pressed, 2 buttons. They designed 2 things, and then they never thought about PvP again, and they never will think about PvP again, meaning that if the developers want the Stitcher to be the best PvP gun in the game so that free loadout can't compete, good luck playing with the idiotic dev team. Just good luck. Here's Peanut's stream. This guy's so awesome.
There's like 1,000 of them! Oh my goodness, he's on me! Die!
I have no plans to ever go back to rehab. If I ever do, I just hope this guy's here. He seems awesome. I don't know where he came up with the peanut thing, but it's just so freaking funny. Absurd is what it is. It's not really even funny.
Does the playtest?
So this guy's one of the most popular game streamers right now.
This weapon's nice. The 3-round burst, whoosy doozy.
Oh yeah, that weapon is delicious.
Ark's great, it just is, but dude, devs don't have any idea what they're doing. Morons. I'm not saying Bungie will do much better, or whoever, I don't know, what is that team even called now? Halo Studios, maybe? I don't know. I think that's 4343 or whatever. I think they just changed their name. In other news, I really do like this story a lot. So, this is Asha Sharma. This is her right here. She's an Indian female, of course, you can tell by the picture. And the joke with the IT industry is that if I'm not making this joke, by the way, but the joke is if a woman or an Indian takes over an IT crowd, that they usually will gut the place and it will be replaced by women and Indians. I don't know if that's true. I've never worked in a, call center, IT farm or whatever, but very funny. This is the joke on Twitter or X or whatever nowadays is that, oh no, it's a female Indian. Awesome. In any case, this is her response. Let me read this out loud to you. Dear team, today I begin my role as CEO of Microsoft Gaming. I feel 2 things at once, humility and urgency. Humility because this team has built something extraordinary over decades. Urgency because gaming is in a period of rapid change, and we need to move with clarity and conviction. Let me reread this for you. Urgency because gaming needs to become more controlled by artificial intelligence, and we need to move with clarity and conviction. Let me read. I really just want to read that to you, what it means. It means I come from the AI world, and I'm going to show you how to implement AI into your game design process. I'm stepping into work shaped by generations of artists, engineers, designers, writers, musicians, operators, and more who create worlds that have brought joy and deep personal meaning to hundreds of millions of players. The level of craft here is exceptional, and it is amplified by Xbox, which was founded in the belief that the power of games connects people and pushes the industry forward. Here's going to be my statement here. I am stepping into a world shaped by generations of artists, engineers, designers, writers, musicians, operators, and more. Any of those people would have done a better job as the lead of creative Xbox studios. Any of these people would know how to build worlds and what the players want. Stop with the executives. The level of craft here is exceptional and is amplified by Xbox, who is founded in the belief that the power of games connects people and pushes the industry forward. Thank you to Phil for his leadership and to every studio, platform, and operations team that built this foundation. We are stewards of some of the most loved stories and characters in entertainment and bring players and creators together around the fun and community of gaming in entirely new ways. And as stewards, these guys have fucking sunk so many studios that I can't even believe she has the balls to say that they're stewards. Dude, Microsoft is the worst. The thing with Phil Spencer, I'm as a gamer, I don't really consider myself a game news reporter, but I got to be completely honest with you. I've followed it for so long, just personally, that I can tell you a lot of stories about the stuff that happened, and I do kind of consider myself. At this juncture, I would love to talk about it at my age. Phil. You may have the opinion that Phil Spencer has done a terrible job, and you have to, before you make that determination, really go back to where Phil Spencer took over, because he literally saved the Xbox brand. I won't go into that in detail here, but he was pivotal in turning everything back around. What ultimately happened was back in 2020, Microsoft started buying all of these game studios in an effort to basically put as many games as possible on this program right here. This is known as Xbox Games Pass. This is a streaming service, i.e. Netflix, that allows you to play games. And ultimately, there are games like this Avatar's Frontier Pandora. This just recently came out. If they're not successful, they get on Game Pass, right? Sometimes older games will get on Game Pass. It's a powerful tool. But what ultimately Microsoft's plan was to buy out all of the major studios. The biggest one, of course, being Blizzard Activision, and they wanted that Call of Duty money. So that's what Phil Spencer did at the behest of Microsoft. He acquired a lot of major studios over the course of the last 6 years. And 2 years ago, that started to fall apart when a lot of these studios got their games finished, and then they were not critical successes. Microsoft realized that they had invested hundreds of millions, billions of dollars in certain studios, and the time to recoup even some of that cost would have been either insurmountable or would have taken far too long. So we started seeing last year Phil say one thing, and then everything that Microsoft would do would just be the total opposite. Writing on the wall for Phil having left, I think, is inevitable. But don't badmouth Phil at this point, and don't badmouth this lady at this point. I mean, I'm being a little bit critical of this letter because of Microsoft corporate. I don't have any issues with Asha Sharma personally. I don't have any issues with Phil Spencer personally. It's the corporations that I think make these really, really bad decisions. I think that if you had given Phil just full reign for another 6 years and they hadn't sold all those studios, and by the way, Microsoft has plenty of money, I think we ultimately would have seen some really powerful things out of a Phil Spencer-led coalition of developers. Now, granted, Bethesda has become just a shell of their former selves, and I refuse to say anything good about Bethesda other than Todd Howard's involvement on the Fallout television show, mind you. I think that probably there are still some great storytellers at Bethesda, but yeah, their games are just falling apart. In any case, it's Microsoft that I have an issue with, not really any people that are trying to make the best of a bad situation. So here's where I think this letter gets a little bit funny. My first job is simple: understand what makes this work and protect it. I think she really could have just said here, my first job is simple. I've got to figure out what gaming is. If you have to figure that out, I don't know what to tell you, because I can sum it up very, very simply. All throughout history, humans told stories and we played games. In the 20th century and right before, technology started to shift very quickly. The technology changed from printing press to audio recording, still image, moving image plus audio, right? So that was all throughout 20th century. We got to moving image plus audio, we got to movies, we got to TV, and then comes video games. Video games are the combination of all previous art forms of man combined into the modern world, right? It's an interactive book, it's an interactive movie, interactive song, whatever you want it to be, whatever the developer wants it to be, it's interactive. It's the future of art. It's that simple. I think everyone my age kind of knows this, right? That's why we know that some of the best stories are told by game developers. It's why Hideo Kojima remains one of the greatest writers in our world. So that's all there is to it, right? Now, that being known, we have to look at the other art deliverables. Movies, are they also struggling? The answer is yes. Books, are they also struggling? Not as much, but sure, the economy's down, and so it's also struggling. What other art forms could we talk about? Music. Well, music has already given in to this trap. Yeah, music gave in to streaming, and it's in a bad spot because these artists are making most of their money off tours, which they cannot do, but so much, right? It's a limited number of venues that you can hit, and you have to, have Live Nation connections essentially in order to do big venues, right? So music already gave into streaming, which is what Xbox is trying to do with gaming, and music is just such a part of life in general that that's never going to go away. But once the revenue for games is not there, it's just going to be the indie devs, in my opinion. So that's what gaming is. It makes it work because it's art, okay? And to protect it, you have to protect the artist's vision. Boy, howdy, is it that simple. That starts with 3 commitments. Let's see what her commitments are going to be. First, great games. Everything begins here. We must have great games beloved by players before we do anything. So she's starting at the wrong spot because she's starting at great games, right? It's incorrect. Great games is not where it starts. A vision is where it starts. A leader is where it starts. And then the leader is able to expound upon his vision with his team. He forms a team, and then the team creates a product. That product is called a game, but everything begins with the planning stages. Asha Sharma, not the games. Unforgettable characters, stories that make us feel innovative gameplay and creative excellence. It's just words. None of that expresses what we've done. We empower our studios. I haven't seen that. I think that's a lie. Invest in iconic franchises. Again, they've sunk iconic franchises more than they have invested. And back bold new ideas. All of those are lies. So we'll see if she changes anything. But as of right now, they have done that, and then they sunk all the studios. They sank all of the IPs that they bought. Tell me where a second Banjo-Kazooie on Xbox is. Tell me where a rare game other than Sea of Thieves is, and then maybe we'll talk about iconic franchises. I promoted Matt Booty in the honor of this commitment. He understands that the craft and the challenges of building great games. He has led teams that deliver award-winning work and has earned the trust of game developers across the industry. I would have liked to seen Matt Booty as the CEO then. Second, the return of Xbox. We will commit to our core Xbox fans and players, those who have invested with us for the past 25 years, and to the developers who build the expansive universes and experiences that are embraced by players across the world. This is an interesting statement because what they're actually doing is they're going to make their new Xbox a PC, and it's going to run Steam, as well as the Xbox Game Store and Game Pass, right? To to the developers who built the expansive universes that are embraced by the players across the world. I think they all did that not for you. I don't think it has anything to do with Xbox. We will celebrate our roots with a renewed commitment to Xbox, starting with a console, which has shaped who we are, and that's going to be a PC, by the way. It connects us to the players who invest in Xbox and the developers who build ambitious experiences for it. Gaming now lives across multiple devices. They're going for a so okay. Here's what let me tell you what Microsoft's end game is here. I can really just spell it all out for you, right? Okay, so this is the planned future of gaming, right? So the year right now is 2026, and what's happening in 2026 is personal computing supply shortage. Okay, so this moves the date from so I'm going to say possible PS6/PS. Is it? Are we at PS6? Yeah, PS6/ Xbox Next launch, right? All right, that's where we're at right now. In 2027, they are saying shortage persists. In 2028, so maybe new consoles. All right, so that's the next 3 years. Now, on the 2026, 2027, what is happening is the U.S. AI data centers have orders from all RAM and chip suppliers. To where every all right, so the data centers, right, that they're trying to build, basically one in every state, but I don't know if it's one in every state at this juncture. I don't know if they'll get one in every state. But basically, you think about the word neural net, right? Whatever that means to you, it just means a network connection and how many devices are on the overall network. Right now, it's the world. And if you set your data center download speed on something like ULA.net, and please don't take any what I'm saying here with a grain of salt. I'm not saying this as a something you should use as a source. I'm just trying to give you an overview. So you see this finding optimal server. So I'm going to change server. So these are all servers that I can ping, which are not necessarily data centers, but they would be, right? This is an EPB data center. This is a Cleveland Utilities data center. That's what we're building. We're building more places to immediately access the fastest part of the internet. That's a very, very silly way to describe it, but ultimately that's, I think, what they're trying to do. They're adding more neural network things to add to the power of the overall system. Ultimately, that's the surveillance state, as outlined in 1984. That seems to be an exact blueprint, actually, that book does. So probably buy a copy before they decide that you can't read it anymore. So in 2026, 2027, if we can't build new computers, right? I'm looking right here. I don't have a camera turned on, but I'm looking at a computer that I built last year prior to the tariffs going into effect, when I knew that prices were about to double. I put a 5090 and I put a 7950X3D as it's my main editing machine, my main gaming machine. I try to build 5-year lifespan computers. I have built a computer basically every 3 to 5 years since I've been, I don't know, 12. I've been young, man. I've been doing, it's been my main hobby. I sit here and I stare into this computer and I say, I don't know that I'll ever be able to afford another one again. And I think that's ultimately the goal. So the goal is no more personal computing. And instead, we switch to rental on operating machines, right? Where you've got keyboard, mouse, personal GPU, right? Which then accesses a streaming server to run any heavy-handed content. Same thing we're doing with movies. that's what they're trying to shift the gaming model to, right? That's what just you have to bear with me and understand what the future is in order to understand what the developers or the executives more so. The developers are just artists, right? For the most part. Maybe they have, you look at Remedy, right? The Remedy guys are all just artists, and then they probably have to work with now the CEO of EA, and that's like that guy's the odd man out because he's not there for the same reason. This is what I think the future is. The future is going to be on streaming. So if they can push that to 2028, right? New consoles 2028. This may actually be the new console release launch. There may not be another personal. I think it's going to depend on cost of component. They know they can't sell a $3,000, $4,000 machine. Maybe if personal computers go to $20,000 because of the cost of GPUs. I mean, maybe. But regardless, the indie gaming future remains PC only. You can then go over to Switch if you want or adapt to a console. But if you are a game designer, please listen to what I'm saying. Don't sign any documents with any of these stupid publishers, any of these stupid executives, any of these bigger machines that say that they'll sell your game. Only do it if it's the only way that you'll ever get a release. And even then, I don't know, really, really, really think about it. Make games for PC. Don't Sony, just pretend they don't exist. Xbox, I think you can pretend they don't exist because I think in a couple of years they might not. We are witnessing the reinvention of play. Yet again, she's telling you the secret, as I just explained to you. To meet the moment, we will invent new business models. So again, I've explained this all to you, but I understand what she's saying as she says it. To meet the moment, we will invent new business models and new ways to play by leaning into what we already have. Iconic teams, characters, and worlds that you've sank that people love. But we will not treat those worlds as static IP to milk and monetize. Is that a change of... Is that so? I would want to know if that's a change. We will not treat those worlds as static IP to milk and monetize. Is she saying we're changing schedules? Because that's what they've done to this point. They have treated the worlds as static IP to milk and monetize. That's what they've done. So if she's saying that we are changing course and we're no longer going to do that, I can get behind it. I just don't believe you. We will build a shared platform and tools that empower developers and players to create and share their own stories. That will wholly be with AI. As monetization and AI evolve, and AI, right here she's saying it, and influence this future, she means make it. She doesn't mean influence. We will not chase short-term efficiency or flood our ecosystem with soulless AI slop. So what are you going to do? You're going to have soulful AI slop? Games are and always will be art crafted by humans and created with the most innovative technology provided by us. The next 25 years belong to the teams who dare to build something surprising, something no one else is willing to try, AI, and have the patience to see it through and train the models. We have done this before. I'm here to help us do it again. Yeah, so again, when it comes to the AI use as an artist, I'm an artist. And so when I use AI, I use it as a tool just as I use this computer as a tool. No one's telling me to do that. I'm making the choice to do that. And when it comes off the machine, I look at it and I say, wow, this is really, really bad. And then I have to fix it, right? Because as an artist, I can determine what's good, determine what's bad based on my taste. With images, I can have things come off of the machine and I can say, wow, that's better than I could ever do. And I still don't think it's that great, but it's still better than I could ever do. And so I use the machine for that to show people what's in my mind, right? So here's Matt Booty. Great last name, by the way. I read Phil's note with much gratitude. Great. So there's two names, right? Matt Booty. It's a great name. Pirate name. Executive name, right? Make all the booty, make all the money, get all the booty, whatever the executives do. And then, I don't know, maybe if you had some tendencies towards sodomy, Booty would be a great name. Other games have benefited from his foundational support. I'm also grateful to Satya for his ongoing commitment to gaming and holding a vision of how it can connect back to the larger company. Looking forward, I'm excited to partner with Asha as our next CEO. Our first conversation had Asha telling me, hey, what is a video game anyways? Our first conversation centered on her commitment to making great games and the role that plays in our overall success. She asks questions, pushes for clarity, and wants our choices grounded in player and developer needs. Yeah, I don't know. Not much to say until I see some work done. Really, really an interesting story. I'm surprised. I'm surprised Phil retired, truth be told. What Microsoft did in acquiring all those game studios and then sinking, just sinking these guys that had been around the whole time is the way to say it, right? It's these guys that had just made it their life's work. They're going to have trouble recovering from that in the eyes of the people, I believe. Yeah, these execs are a little bit too public with gaming news. I think it's because we're all feral wolves or whatever. This looks fine. I gotta say the gameplay is not that compelling, right? It's just not like... None of this looks that great. It's one of the worst art styles I've ever seen. I guess I just got to get in by myself, turn the graphical settings up, and see how it plays. Videos, it's hard to tell sometimes. To get into why Arc Raiders, why this game's going to fail, ultimately. It's the developers, ultimately, but the decision to turn PvP on made them a lot of money, right? It just did. They made it a PvP VE game, and they probably had the best PvE experience of any PvPvE game to ever release. I still say that. I still stick by that. It's why I want a PvE mode. But a game that you can kill and loot other players has to be balanced around fights with other players, not balanced around fights with other robots. And any game that is PvPvE over the course of time that has, one player type seen as superior to other player types, the games just ultimately fail. And here's the part of the problem becomes when I go here, when I as a gamer, when I go to the library here and I look at Arc Raiders and I say I could log on here and I could start a match and I could have a lot of fun and I could leave happier than I started playing because I had a good run, or I could get killed and it could ruin my day. The game's not fun enough and there's not enough to do and it's not exciting enough and there's nothing new for any of that experience to anymore be fun. So you are only left with the negative emotions that eventually you will get from getting killed, because the positive emotions cease to be a thing when you're just doing repetitive tasks over and over, especially if there's no character design to build, right? Once you finish that expedition, yeah, maybe you go to 10 million, but realistically, your brain is telling you you're just wasting time, right? So they should have developed around PvP from the very beginning if they were ever going to do that. I don't care what any developer gets on and says about that. They're lying to you. The developers, I don't believe, even play this game. I don't think they have any clue. I think that it's all theoretical. I think every answer that they've ever had had to do with theory. It's why when they buffed the patina, they gave it 2 bullets, because they've never played the game and they don't realize that the patina's magazine capacity is not the problem. But I digress. I've never seen the amount of fanboys that I've seen with a game within a game like this for so long. I just haven't. I haven't seen Facebook pages that are just all defense, right? No criticism. Just every time someone says, "Here's an idea," they say, "No, the game's perfect. The devs are perfect. Shut up." It's an interesting community, but mentally ill people say crazy things. The thing is that I don't think the devs care about this game anymore. I think they charge $40 for it. And I think the fact that it sold $1 billion makes the CEOs very happy. And I think the CEOs say, okay, who wants to work on Arc Raiders? And all of the developers say, well, AI built Arc Raiders. We don't really even know how the code works. And then the CEO says, well, the players want more stuff. How long is that going to take you? And they say, oh, well, I don't know. We'll add 2 bullets to the patina and break everything else in the code, right? I don't know. Hurricane. I was going to Google, let's see, Unreal. I was going to type in hurricane mode right here. Yeah, so this is what they're doing with those kind of things. I really just hate to tell you guys this, but they are going on here and they're buying these. Same thing here. Texture swap and put an overlay. Here's even the sound effects you can buy. Yeah, they're doing nothing to this, to Arc Raiders. And I mean, you don't have to be. You can be frustrated with the devs. I mean, I really wish that more people would wake up and be frustrated with the devs. And I think Marathon coming out, you know, what happens with a lot of players is I think they get into a gameplay loop and they just keep playing it. It's a dopamine cycle. Obviously, it's a dopamine cycle. And as long as that game fills that dopamine cycle, they'll usually stay with that game for as long as that works. You know, like with Call of Duty, I think they determined that it was like a year. After about a year, you would just get totally burned out. So the Arc guys that haven't quit for a while yet, I've quit for 2 weeks and I just can't even stomach the idea of pressing play. I've sat here trying to install other games, and Arc Raiders has been the first game that I've thought to delete. I don't say those things lovingly. I say it kind of sadly. It's a great game. I think Marathon's going to absolutely stomp it. I think if there's any kind of PvP balance, like I've been told that there is in Marathon, and if the time to kill is better, and if the ability to fight against people who shoot you first is better, all the PvPers are going to leave. I mean, it is what it is. If Peanut plays it for a month, none of his watchers are going to play Arc anymore. So I don't know. Does he account for 50,000 players a day? He very well might. And how many other streamers are there like him that account for another 50,000? So that gets you down to sub 100,000 players. And then we get to April, right? So then at that point we get to April and then the new map releases. People will be sick of Marathon at that point. And then the content battle will begin and we'll see which one actually is able to last a long time. Maybe both. Probably not both. And realistically, it's probably a third. These two are gonna launch within a similar time as each other. But I'm just telling you guys, if the devs don't wake up and they don't, whatever they're doing, when they wake up, whatever they're doing in the dev offices, if they don't wake up and say, we need to really try to fight these other PvPvE games that are coming out, they're not going to be competitive. We've played what you offered us. You can't just add one new arc and one new map in April and then give us a roadmap that says another arc, another map in November, and people keep playing your game. You've already said that the expeditions, which the rewards are a joke, by the way, but the expeditions of the skill points caps at plus 15. That means that you, the developers, the morons, have put a end game wall at one more expedition. And people like me don't want to even play one more expedition, have farmed up enough materials on a mule that I'm just going to sit and not play and have my plus 15, at which point, unless you give me another reason to play, I have none. And for the people who say, I just log on to kill people and steal their stuff, that's fine. You're a sociopath. For the people who say, I just log on to kill the Arc over and over, that's fine. But just play other games. The Arc's not that fun. It's just not. Yeah, craziness. I don't have much faith for Marathon. I really don't. I mean, I know that it kind of sounds like I do, but I don't. Um, People just want a PvE mode. It's literally it. It's so easy. Such an easy ask. And the only people that don't want it are the rats. So. Trying to decide what I want to play later. This was phenomenal. I have a full playthrough of this. It's in live version right now, so you have to kind of scrub through it. But I plan to play through this a couple more times and actually get a little bit more into, I don't know, maybe even some scriptural. This is just a very well written game. Falls apart at the end because it comes a little bit too political in my mind, but what they're saying is important. I also want to play a second playthrough of this. I think there's really only two paths to play through with Dispatch. It's the Blonde Blazer path and then the Invisigirl path. I was actually going to see where I was on here. I don't want to use a controller. So yeah, the thing is, I don't know, supercomputers probably make sense. If I'm just being totally honest. Like, streaming from some other computer just really just makes more sense, but I don't love it. All right, I think the reason I didn't play this is because there's a new fix for triple wide. I'm beginning to remember this now. So let me just go look for that right now. Square Enix doesn't understand what 21.9 is. So this is me Googling, asking my robot. Sometimes I feel like Google's faster at this point still, but yeah, because Square still can't be bothered. Yeah, it's always okay. So it's Leals. Let's go to Nexus Mods. Perfect. And then this will have to be shut down clearly. And then they want my email just so I can download something. Not a big fan of the company of Nexus Mods, but I don't know of any other options. Please put in the comments if you know a Nexus Mod option. Okay, so then game folder will be... Don't ask how I know all this. Years and years of just doing it over and over. Okay, so that end folder. It's just a file. Okay, let's just try that then. Not sure what my dog's doing outside. Let me go check. Okay, so my dog had gotten off his leash and was barking at a neighbor dog and covered in mud. So I had to kick him out. Well, no more locking him outside by himself, I suppose. So I've played this on. That's not making a difference whatsoever. I played this on a PS5. Oh, 100%. Wow, thank you. Thank God I can kill those. Clearly a port. I don't know if I got through the prologue or not. Oh yeah, I'm well through the prologue. Yeah, that's not happy.
Ocean's real quiet. Today, too quiet.
In the old days, you could make it.
You're not. There's a reactor at the bottom.
Okay, let me hold on. I'm gonna have to go into probably keywords. Mouse keys don't work. Brilliant.
Surprisingly, that makes it a...
But get down.
Another day in a life without sunshine.
We should have never let them build a reactor in our waters.
Oh man. Sorry.
We should have never let them build a reactor in our waters.
Nothing here. Nothing there.
Thanks to our tireless efforts, the ocean remains safe.
Sorry. I'm getting lost in the other side.
Ocean's real quiet today. Nothing makes you forget a bad day.
Hello there. Room for one.
Help! Somebody, please! Help! Anybody, please!
That's so.
Help!
And from the sound of it, she needs a tough guy like you to lend a
We
hand.
gotta go! Now! There's a monster attacking the boat! This way! Down here! Quickly!
okay.
Please!
Shinra's most wanted. Get rid of that thing.
Say what?
Barret, focus.
Get its attention.
On it.
Come on.
Get him!
Deal with that.
All right. Watch and learn. Asshole. Ah! Gotta lug on! Damn it!
Hey! Go on! We'll get you out of there. This one's for you. Why don't you?
Let's go.
Need my help, do you? Yeah! Yeah! Woo! Bring in the heat! Ah! Take y'all on! Come on! I'm gonna make you regret! Yeah! Whoa! Want some more? Ah! Hurry up! Yeah! Bring it home!
I'll take care of them. Just a bit. Mind backing off a bit? Stop it!
Hang on. Here we go. Shit. Better off with magic.
Let's better you ought to speed things up! It hurts, go! Time for a serious ass whoop! Everyone's coming!
Ready or not, here I come. One more shot! Try using it. Come on, team.
Watch
Get
this.
him!
What now?
Watch the water. Pushing it.
Guess it's my turn!
Have fun.
Let's better you ought to speed things up!
Crap! Watch out for Hydra. You can do it.
My turn. Take the lead.
Yeah, I'll do it. Ooh, gotta love it. So now. A spell or two ought to speed things up.
We'll get you out of there. And catch! This one's for you! Tagging out!
Taking over. It's on you.
All right, watch and learn.
Good job.
Here goes! That's it!
Just sit tight. We got you. A spell or two ought to speed things up. Bang, bang. You're up.
Hang back.
Got it.
Be careful.
I'm wide
Keep it
awake
together.
now.
About damn time. Want some more? Bring it home.
We've got to get through this. Let the winds caress you. Why don't you?
My turn. Don't overdo it.
Crap! Get him! Enjoy the ride. You've got this.
Let's do this. Deal with that.
Yes, it's my turn. That's all.
I'll get you out. Don't stop now.
You ain't gonna get away. Want some more?
Oh, no, you don't. Nice work.
Let's check on that girl. Come on. I don't think she's breathing.
Hey, we need help over here.
She's so cold.
Maybe someone should go find a doctor? There's no time. Somebody, help!
I need to get her breathing again.
Maybe someone should go find a doctor? There's no...
Don't just stand there. Help me. You're on chest compressions.
Got it.
Now, start.
You picked the wrong girl, creep! What?
Those guys there are from the Splinter Cell.
Splinter Cell?
They used to be with Avalanche, but left after a policy dispute.
Easy. They're guests of mine. And this one was trying to save your life.
He was? Nice going, Yuffie. Call the guy a creep, why don't ya? You big moron!
This is one of my favorite Nobuo Matsu songs right here.
Okay, Yuffie. Let's get you inside. You've had a rough day.
Yeah, alright. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Not to be that guy, but kids these days, I swear.
Now.
Who's that?
Another one of my guests. I seem to get a lot of them when the world's on fire.
Hey, you guys are that Avalanche Splinter Cell, right?
Now, how the hell did you...
I just gotta say, I'm a big, huge fan of yours. HQ wishes they could be as cool as you guys.
Well, we are pretty cool, but...
Think we could sit down for a chat later? Got a teensy favor to ask. And gotta thank you for before.
I suppose you could come by the inn tomorrow?
Sweet! You won't be sorry, promise. Later!
I know, she laid it on pretty thick. But hey, she's just a kid. What's the harm in hearing her out?
Maybe she wants your autograph.
Come on, let's get ourselves some rooms.